clinging to a tenuous 2-1 lead. Kent Colby is the new Philly pitcher. He will face Candy Maldonado, Bob Melvin, and then Will Clark. Two-one Giants. Teams even in hits at 4 apiece. Phillies have committed 2 errors. Colby, of course, a longtime member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, making his 23rd appearance of the season, all in relief, has worked 30 innings, allowed 31 hits, 11 runs, 10 of them earned, has struck out 13 and walked 8. 1 win, 1 loss, 2 saves, ERA, and even 3. Maldonado has struck out twice and grounded out. Don Carmen, a very good outing. He goes 8 innings, allows just 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He struck out 6, and he walked 1. That was intentional, and he hit a batter, but he is on the hook for the loss unless the Phillies pull this out. His last 17 innings now, Carmen has allowed just 2 runs. Kent Colby, nicknamed the Vulture, he was over in Pittsburgh. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Maldonado. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Aguayo. Long throw, got him. Good play by Philly shortstop Luis Aguayo to take a base hit away from Candy Maldonado. And that will bring up Bob Melvin. He has popped up, doubled, scored a run in the 5th. Safe on Juan Samuel's error in the 7th. And with Bob Brenly at the plate, the Giants called a hit and run. Phillies picked up the signal and pitched out. And Melvin was caught stealing. Brenly threw his bat at the ball, but did not make contact. So Bobby is 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. 0-1. Third base. Schmidt, who stays in the game, throws across, and there are 2 away. Mike Schmidt, who pinch hit in the Philly 8, stays in the game at third base. Quickly, there are 2 away, and that will bring up Will Clark, batting for the first time tonight. Came into the game in the 7th inning as a defensive replacement for Bob Brenly. There you see Clark's numbers. He has been swinging the bat much better the last week and a half. Had that 2 home run game at Candlestick Park on getaway day just before the start of the road trip. Sidearmer to Colby, gets it over for a strike. 1-1. And then Monday, Clark hit his 6th home run of the season off last Saturday, I beg your pardon, off Rick Aguilera. He's now homered against every National League team. And against right-handers this year, he's hitting .320. Here is the 1-2 pitch. First base, Von Hayes will make the play himself. And the Giants are down 1-2-3 in the top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Giants clinging to a 2-1 lead.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. Got a cobra snake for a necktie. House on the roadside in a straight rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chimney, baby, built on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love?
They called for it on the Marienplatz in Munich. They called for it in the Canadian Rockies. And they called for it in Newport Beach, California. Lowenbrow, brewed around the world. Taste it and you'll know why. Rich Bavarian hops and supervision, brewed fresh and smooth in America. It's the best way in the world to brew beer. This world calls for Lowenbrow right now.
Top of the ninth inning, Scott Garrelts will face the top of the Philly order. Milt Thompson will lead off, followed by Von Hayes, and then Juan Samuel. Giants 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Phillies 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. Hadley Hammaker started tonight for the Giants. Pitched very well, allowing just 1 run in 6+ innings. Scott Garrelts on for his 3rd inning of relief work. Has gotten a double play in each of the first 2 innings he has worked tonight. Thompson is grounded out twice, once to third, once to short, and fly to left. Fouled outside third. No balls and 2 strikes. Garrelts seems to have found a groove on this road trip. He has now allowed just 2 hits in his last 7 2/3 innings. That covers 4 appearances. He has 2 wins, 2 saves, and a loss in his last 8 games. And of course, he's eligible to pick up the save tonight if the Giants hold this lead. 1-2 the count for the Phillies leadoff hitter. Line left center field. That's a base hit. Davis is over to cut it off, and Thompson will hold with a single. So the Phillies get the tying run aboard to lead off the ninth. And Thompson can run. He has 10 stolen bases this season in 13 attempts. But on the other hand, Bob Melvin has thrown out 70 of the 30 runners attempting to steal on him. Von Hayes, the batter, facing a right-hander for the first time tonight. Twice grounded out. Last time up, singled under the glove of Robbie Thompson. And has scored the only Philly run tonight. Garrelts over to first. Thompson dives back in. Giants are 11-3 in 1-run games this year. Foul back. 0-1. One other key game tonight, at least from the Giants standpoint, Rick Russell, the Pirates starter, has homered. And the Pirates now lead the Cincinnati Reds 2-1. That game is in the 9th inning. So the Giants with a fighting chance of moving 2 games up on the Redlegs. If they can hold on, and if the Pirates can hold on. There is the 0-1 pitch to Von Hayes. Now first the throw over, and that was close. Phillies now out hitting the Giants 5-4. Oh, and 2. And a reminder, unless the Phillies tie it up here in the bottom of the ninth, stay tuned over many of these stations for our post-game show. In the dirt, blocked by Melvin, 1-2. Giants have turned 3 double plays tonight, giving them a major league leading 54 for the season. And they like nothing better than to get their 4th of the game right now. Very dangerous hitter, Von Hayes at the plate. 1-2 pitch. Low, 2-2. Dodgers and Mets are tied 4-4 in the 7th. And the 2-2 pitch. Chop foul. Hayes just got a piece of it. Fouled it the on-deck circle where Juan Samuel fielded it. In that game in New York, Fernando for the Dodgers against David Cone for the Mets, and it's tied at 4-all. Two pitch. Way outside. 3-2. And now we'll see if the Phillies will send Milt Thompson. He has good speed. The guess is well, I don't know. You're down by a run. Good contact hitter at the plate. You just wait and see. Gurriel's got ahead of Hayes. 0-2. Count is now full. Thompson goes. Swing and a miss. Runner second. Not in time. So it's as good as a sacrifice. Hayes strikes out on a high fastball, but Thompson steals second. His 11th stolen base of the season. The Phillies have the tying run in scoring position. Boy, just a sailing fastball, and Hayes was way under it. And charge that stolen base to Gurriel more than Melvin. Thompson really got a jump. He was halfway to the bag by the time Gurriel's delivered to the plate. Juan Samuel, the batter, has flied to deep right, grounded to short, and walked. Thompson away from second. Good ball game. 2-1 Giants. One out. Bottom of the ninth. Fouled off the fist back in the seats. 0-1. That was a great battle between Gurriel and Hayes. Gurriel got ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Hayes went 3-2, and then Gurriel struck him out on a sailing fastball. Oh, 1 pitch again blocked by Melvin, keeps it in front of him. No advance by Thompson. Plate umpire Dick Stello out for a look at the baseball. And we're ready to go. 1-1. Thompson away from second. Foul away. 1-2. Gurriel takes a long time looking in for the sign. Samuel ready. So is Scott. Here it is. Hit hard and foul right into the Philly dugout. I hope it didn't pick anybody off. Samuel with 7 home runs this season, but 6 of those have come in his last 10 games. So he has really been on a tear. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. Split finger. And whereas Hayes struck out on a high fastball, Samuel swings over a split finger, and there are 2 away. The Phillies are down to their last out. It is up to Glenn Wilson, who is one of the better clutch hitters around. Strikeout number 3 for Gurriel. Thompson still at second base. Wilson is flied to right, grounded to third, and then hit into that double play in the 7th inning when Uribe made a great stop, then fell down as he was trying to get to second base, reached out, tagged the bag for the force on Samuel, and then threw from a prone position to first base, and doubled up Wilson. One of 3 double plays tonight. Uribe has been involved in all 3 of them. 0-1 the count. to Glenn Wilson. Swing and a miss, and the Phillies are down to their last strike. Gurriel's trying to go 3 innings for the second time this season. He has allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, and has struck out 3. Missed inside, 1-2. And the Giants are looking to go 16-9 on the road. And 25-16 on the season. They're off to their best start since 1978. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a split finger. The Giants win it. Scott Gurriel gives up a lead-off single to the speedy Milt Thompson and then proceeds to strike out the side. For the Phillies in the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, leave a man. Giants win it by a score of 2-1. They are now 12-3 in 1-run games this season, and we'll be back with the final totals right after this.
It's the Subaru Value Celebration, the greatest Subaru deals in Subaru history.
That's one Subaru commercial you won't see the rest of. What's really important isn't hoopla, but a great deal on a great car, like up to $1,500 cash back on a Subaru. With the money you can save now at your Subaru dealer, you can have your own celebration. Up to $1,500 factory cash back on a Subaru.
See your local Subaru stars. Remember, our reputation rides with you.
We are gathered here today.
You'd expect this Panasonic OmniMovie camcorder to shoot in daylight.
If anyone believes this couple should not be married, let him speak now.
You might expect this Panasonic camcorder to shoot in room light.
Let him speak now.
But what you don't expect is that it can shoot by the light of one candle, and it's VHS.
Let him speak now.
Camcorders that do the unexpected make Panasonic just slightly ahead of our time.
You know where to go for savings you can count on, where low prices are no illusion. Cragen Auto Parts. Don't change your oil without putting on a new oil filter. A new Fram oil filter, now just $219 for most vehicles. And you say your battery's about had it? Then pick up a new Megatorque 40-month battery, only $27.99 with no exchange required. For the low prices you're looking for, you know where to go.
Cragen Auto Parts.
LensCrafters has a better way to make glasses because our labs are right here in the store, so we can custom grind your exact prescription in about 1 hour and make adjustments right on the spot. Listen.
They can make the glasses in an hour because they have the lab right there.
1 hour.
There's no mystery to it at all. They have the facilities right there.
LensCrafters, now new stores in San Jose at Valley Fair and in Newark at New Park Mall, plus 9 other Bay Area locations. Call 800-541-LENS for one near you.
Big win tonight for the Giants. They beat the Phillies by a score of 2-1. They win their first game at Veterans Stadium since August of 1985. The Reds lost by a score of 4-1 to the Pirates, so the Giants go 2 games up in the National League West. The first time they have had a 2-game lead since July 17th of last year. That was 1 game after the All-Star break. And also, and certainly not least, they win behind Atlee Hammaker, who went 6+ shutout innings tonight. Although he was charged with 1 run, that run scoring after Atlee had left the ball game. So a big win for the Giants. They are now 11-3 in 1-run games. They win yet another road game. They are 16-9 away from Candlestick. All in all, a big night for the Giants. The final totals for San Francisco: 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They left 4 men on base. The Phillies, 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. They stranded only 3. Giants turning 3 double plays tonight, giving them a major league leading 54 for the season. Atlee Hammaker gets the win, his first win as a starter since 1985. His record is now 2-1. Scott Gurriel picks up his 6th save of the season. Jeffrey Leonard gets his 3rd game-winning RBI. And the loser, a tough loss for Don Carmen. His record is now 2-3. A reminder that we will have a post-game show over many of these same stations. But for now, that is it from the vet. A check for $100 in the name of Atlee Hammaker, our most valuable player tonight, will be presented to United Cerebral Palsy. Remote facilities supplied by NEP Sharpshooters Incorporated. Game was directed by Walt Harris. Technical director was Bob Byer. Now this is Gary Park saying so long for the moment. along with Ron Fairley from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Once again, the final score, the Giants 2, the Phillies 1.
Giants Baseball was brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. By Seagram's Coolers. By Toyota, who offers a full line of 1987 cars and trucks. Who could ask for anything more? The Bay Area Dodge dealers. 26 guys ready to give you a great deal on a 1987 Dodge. Lowenbrow. It's the best way in the world to brew beer. This world calls for Lowenbrow. And by Craig and Auto Parts. For low prices you can count on, you know where to go. Join us Sunday morning at 9:30 for the final game of the series between the Giants and the Phillies.
You're in Germany? I'm getting married at 5.
Don't worry, I'll be there.
You go all out. Old Spice deodorant introduces all-out protection. Always coming through. When friends are counting on you, you go all out. You go Old Spice. New white Old Spice Fast Track is clinically proven to block odor better than the leading men's deodorant. That's all-out protection. You go all out. You go Old Spice. All-out protection.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies for...
Holiday Inn would like to make your summer vacation a real winner with our summer great rates. Only $29, $39, or $49 per room per night.
America, America.
The number of summer great rates rooms is limited, so call 1-800-HOLIDAY today and save with our summer great rates.
From sea to shining sea.
Levitt's Memorial Weekend Sale. Wait till you see the prices. Everything is selling like hotcakes. And it all ends Monday night. Thank goodness.
So laugh at our glasses, our calculators, and our plaid pants. But watch out for the revenge of the nerds. Tonight at 8 on Channel 2.
Welcome back to the Vet in Philadelphia. I'm Gary Park, and I have been joined by the most valuable player of tonight's game. Got off a beauty. Atlee Hammaker worked 6+ innings, picking up his second victory of the season, his first win as a starter since October of 1985. Atlee, it would appear that you're all the way back. Congratulations.
Well, it feels real good. I'll tell you, I have a lot of people praying for me and supporting me, and I'll tell you what, it's not a one-man effort out there, and it's been a long time coming, but I really I feel gratified being out there and pitching again.
Atlee, you were brilliant, certainly through the first 6 tonight. Is that as well as you pitched when you were the scourge of the National League?
I think so. You know, I mixed up my pitches a lot more than I did back then because I feel like I've added a split finger and I'm throwing my changeup a lot more, and I'm going to be changing speeds a lot more than I did in the past. But basically, I'm the same type pitcher. I've got decent control, and until that last inning, I don't think I walked anybody, and I'm pretty aware of that all the time, and I felt real pleased with that.
Atlee, Rogers said after your outing in New York that you're incapable of throwing a ball straight, and you said you moved it around tonight, you changed speeds, you were always around the plate, you didn't get behind anybody, about as well as anybody can pitch.
Well, I felt good about it, and I just want to keep it going, and I'll tell you, it just feels great to be out there again, and, you know, we got a chance to win this thing this year, and we got needed people behind us, and I just feel real, you know, grateful to be a part of it and able to contribute.
I don't know if you know it or not, but the Reds lost tonight. The Giants have a 2-game lead now in the National League West. The first time they've had a 2-game lead since July 17th of last year, and it would appear, at least of late, you had a little flat spot there. You lost 6 of 7 games, but now you've won 3 straight. You got a chance of going home above 500 on the road trip. I guess things look pretty good down in the clubhouse.
It really does. I tell you, Jeff Leonard and Candy Maldonado and Joe Davis have been picking up the club all year. Jeff Leonard had a great series in Montreal, and tonight we were able to pitch a good game to let our offense get a little rest, and hopefully tomorrow we'll come out and start smoking again, and we'll just keep this thing going.
Have you got ice on your arm?
Sure do. That's how big my shoulders are. I wish.
I wasn't sure that you did, and I figured if you didn't, that would really be something. What happened in the 7th inning? It looked up here as though you might have been dropping down a little bit. Your pitches were coming up a little bit.
That's exactly what happened. I got a little tired, but, you know, the leadoff man got on, and I didn't want to get in a situation with a close game, give him Juan Samuel anything he could drive, and as a consequence, I got behind him and just got out of my rhythm a little bit, and Roger made the move. But I feel real good going into the 7th, and I hope to get better each time out. But, you know, anytime you get a win and in a situation where Scott Garrels comes in and pitches great, I'll take it.
You know, Ron Fairley has offered the theory, Atley, a couple of times this season that one of the reasons the starters may have had rocky outings is because every game is close. You guys have now played 14 one-run games this year, of which you have won 11. But it doesn't seem as though the team is capable of getting out to a big lead early, and so you starters are always pitching under pressure with at most a 1- or 2-run lead. Didn't seem to bother you tonight.
Well, that's true, and, you know, we have a young starting staff, really, except for Mike Krukow, and, you know, we have some young guys in there and going to be in there for a long time. And we just got just an experience we need, and we're winning the one-run games right now, and that's what it takes to win. In the past 3 or 4 years since I've been here, we've always lost the majority of them, and now we're hopefully on the other end, and that's going to make the difference in us winning this pennant.
I bet you didn't shed any tears when you learned that Mike Schmidt had been scratched from the starting lineup, did you?
No, I sure didn't. That gave me a little lift, I'll be honest with you. But anytime you get a guy like that kind of caliber out of the game, it's going to help you.
And final question, Lance Parrish hit a 390-foot single. What did you throw him?
I just threw him a fastball right over the plate, trying to get ahead of him, and he just jumped out there and hit it pretty good. I thought I had a chance of getting out, so I'm real grateful he hit a single.
Yeah, great play by Chili Davis to
Sure
play
was.
off the wall and hold him to a single. Okay, Atley, go back in the clubhouse and finish icing your arm. Again, congratulations. If you are indeed back, as it appears you are, then the Giants starting rotation is in pretty good hands.
Well, thanks a lot, Gary. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more from Veterans Stadium, including taking a look at the highlights of tonight's game right after this.
This commercial is an opportunity for those of you who haven't seen the latest Saab, the 9000, to finally get a good look at one. Time's up.
See your San Francisco Bay Area Saab dealer and discover the new Saab 9000.
And let us take a look at some of the highlights of tonight's game. The 2-1 victory by the Giants over the Phillies. Not a whole lot of base hits tonight, and not a whole lot of runs, but the Giants got the majority, at least of the runs. This is Jeffrey Leonard with a fly ball to center field. Jose Uribe is at third. He had single, stolen second, taken third on Chili Davis infield out. He tags and scores and puts the Giants up 1-0, and Jeffrey Leonard gets his third game-winning RBI in a week. Now in the top of the 5th inning, Bob Melvin had alertly tagged at second and gone to third on a fly ball to center. Atley Hammaker gets his first base hit of the season. Flare into short right. Melvin is able to score. That puts the Giants up 2-0. Then in the 7th inning, the Phillies got their only run of the night. This is Scott Garrels on in relief of Hammaker. And that is Parrish singling up the middle. Oh, this is the double play. The double play that is turned by Jose Uribe, who is lying prone.
Two kinds of forkballs. He throws one that's a real downer. And then he has one that he throws to left-hand hitters that almost acts like a screwball. Shot up the middle, and so Sachs has hit in 11 straight.
And Sachs has been wanting to run when he gets on.
Sachs not only hitting in a streak, that's one thing, but he's hitting over 400 in the streak. So he is a very hot hitter. And now John Shelby fly to center and single sharply to right center in the 3rd inning. Dodgers 2, Mets 1, top of the 5th inning. 2 down, Ron Darling and Bob Welsh.
Into the first game with 2 runners on. Clark blasts homer number 17 on the year deep to right field off Todd Worrell, and that gives the Giants a 6-3 win, an emotional victory there. Second game highlights now. How about Vince Coleman's running problems? Gets picked off at second here by Mike Lacoste. Lacoste wasn't perfect today, though. Jose Oquendo, the next batter, smashes one off Lacoste's leg, finds it, and instead of eating it, Lacoste tries a throw and winds up throwing it into right field. Kurt Ford scores. But here's Clark again, fifth inning, off Greg Matthews, way out of there. The Giants go on to win 5-2. Elsewhere in the National League, Cincinnati lost to Montreal 6-0. And that's why the Giants are now only one game behind them in the National League West. Elsewhere, San Diego beat Pittsburgh 7-4.
And it's 4-2. They added one more in the seventh when relief pitcher Craig Lefferts goes the other way to left. That chases home Uribe again. It's 5-2, and that's the way things ended up today. The Giants sweep the doubleheader. They sweep the four-game series and are now only one game out of first because Cincinnati lost for the third straight day. They were shut out 6-0. The Expos are now only 6 games back of the Cardinals. Elsewhere, the Astros beat the Mets 5-2 while the Dodgers topped the Cubs 7-6. The Phils dumped the Braves while the Padres pound the Pirates. The Oakland Athletics were in Milwaukee today.
Ground ball get through. Robbie Thompson comes home. But in the 8th, St. Louis got even with 2 runs of its own. Vince Coleman is moving from second to third. Has the base stolen, but Bob Brenly's throw goes into left field, and Coleman comes home with the tying run. It stayed 3-3 until the 10th when Will Clark ended things with one smooth swing of the bat. With 2 runners on in front of him, Clark put a Todd Worrell pitch into the football bleachers. The Giants had a 6-3 win. In the nightcap, Bob Melvin, making his first appearance since being injured earlier this month, drove in the first Giant run with this bloop hit. It was part of a 2-run fourth that put the Giants on top 2-1. San Francisco got 2 more in the 5th after the Cards had tied the game. Again, it was Clark with the game's winning RBI as he belts a solo homer to make it 3-2. 18 home runs now for Clark as the Giants went on to win 5-2. They're now just a game out of first place and 3 games over 500. The A's remain 2 games behind division-leading Minnesota after falling
rolls the past 3 days. This afternoon, San Francisco took 2 from St. Louis to finish off a 4-game sweep of the Cardinals. 7th inning of Game 1. Giants go up 2-1 when Chris Spire continues to excel in spot duty. Robbie Thompson across. Later, the score would be 3-1. But in the 8th, 41,000-plus fans sit rather silent. Coleman steals third. Bob Brenly's throw goes into left field. Coleman trots home to tie the game at 3, which is how it stays into the bottom of the 10th. Will Clark goes the distance off Todd Worrell. Clark later would deliver the key home run in Game 2 as the Giants swept St. Louis 6-3 in the game you're watching, and then 5-2 in the nightcap.
Only swept the doubleheader from baseball's winningest team, the St. Louis Cardinals, but San Francisco has moved to within a game of the Cincinnati Reds in the National League West. How does San Francisco do it? Stifling the heart of the most productive offense in the major leagues, silencing the bat of Jack Clark, keeping that ever-dangerous Vince Coleman at bay. Here's what I'm talking about. In the second game, you'll see Coleman, who'll steal you blind, picked off by starter Mike Lacoste, Jose Uribe applying the tag. Then with the bases loaded, still in the first, Lacoste gets him to ground into an inning-ending double play, a weapon used all weekend by the Giants. But St. Louis draws first blood. Oquendo hitting a shot off the leg of Lacoste. He throws the ball into right field. Kurt Ford scores. Oquendo ends up at third, but he doesn't score. In the 5th, Will Clark, the hero of Game 1, breaks a 2-2 tie with his second homer of the day. Oquendo just looks. There she goes. The Giants go on to score one more time on a Kevin Mitchell double. Adding insult to injury, reliever Craig Lefferts, who replaced Lacoste, an opposite field shot to left. A run scores. Lefferts also picks up his 4th save of the year, handcuffing the Cardinals. How about that? Now, in Game 1, St. Louis relief ace Todd Worrell walks Chili Davis in the 10th inning. Score tied 3-3. Whitey Herzog, reason to be worried because the next man up, Clark. Does it look like the same thing again? Yes, over the right field fence. Oquendo watches again. The Giants win Game 1, 6-3. So that Giant win, those 2 Giant wins, coupled with Cincinnati's loss to Montreal, moves San Francisco to within a game of the Reds. Tomorrow night, right here on Channel 7, beginning at 5 o'clock, it's the Giants and Dodgers from Dodger Stadium.
Well, of course, whenever I'm in town, I watch Sports Final with Pete and Gary.
Now, Northern California's most comprehensive sports program. This is Sports Final.
Tonight on Sports Final, the Giants have swept the best team in baseball 4 straight. Will Clark's heroics from Candlestick Park ahead.
You will meet a 49er who retired last week and is here to address the question of how Bill Walsh treats veteran players near the end of their career.
And Stanford alum Tim Mayotte takes Boris Becker to the limit. These stories and more tonight on Sports Final. All right, thanks, Duke, for opening the show. Good evening.
Maybe you can do something about our budget. Huh?
Yeah, welcome to Sports Final. Gary Radnich with the only man in this room who spent the day in Rockland, Pete Liebengood. But first, Pete has Game 1 of today's Giant-Cardinal doubleheader.
Yeah, best case scenario, I think, in the Giants ball game would have been, for an optimist anyway. Well, there we are. There's no little red light. That's what confuses me.
As I said, you spent the day in Rockland. This could be a long
That's right.
half
It's
hour.
been a long day.
Okay.
Anyway, today, the best optimist would have said, hey, we'll sweep a twin bill and be one game behind the Cincinnati Reds. Well, as the players are fond of saying, let's take it one game at a time. Dave Dravecki started the first one. He went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits and a run, struck out 6, including Jack Clark. Not a good weekend for Jack Clark, anyway. All right, 2-1. Giants, or check it, in the 7th inning. Sure did go to Rockland. Chris Spire, with this one, sends in Robbie Thompson. That makes it 2-1 Giants. Same inning, Mike Aldretti off Bob Forsch. Terry Pendleton, nice stop, but Jack Clark can't come up with a scoop. It's 3-1 Giants. Top of the 8th inning, though, Willie McGee at bat. Vince Coleman at second. He tries to go to third. Brentley's throw gets away. Coleman comes home, and we're tied at 3, and it'll stay that way. And this ball finally ends up in the 10th. Will Clark off Todd Worrell. Clark takes it very deep. His 17th home run, a 3-run blast. The Giants do, in fact, win it 6-3 and 10.
All right, Pete, Will Clark owned the show in Game 2 as well. Whitey Herzog's Dentine couldn't be tasting too sweet, but his Cardinals did open strong when Jose Aquindo hits a shot off the leg of Mike Lacoste, who recovers but throws the ball into right field. Kurt Ford scores 1-0 St. Louis. We go bottom 4. Bob Melvin, back off the injury list, contributes immediately. Kevin Mitchell scores. The game is tied at 1. It's 2-2, bottom of the 5th. Will Clark off Greg Matthews. As we said, his second home run of the day. Giants ahead to stay at 3-2. Moments later, in the 5th inning, Kevin Mitchell with a bullet off Matthews. It's a double. Jose Uribe scores. The Giants go on for a 5-2 victory. They sweep the doubleheader. They're 1 game back of the Cincinnati Reds.
The key is the fact that we're winning. You know, to sweep the Cardinals and to be playing the way we've been playing over the last few weeks. You know, it's just a good feeling to, you know, to see that momentum build, and now going on the road trip, hopefully we can continue it.
We had clutch hitting, we had double plays, we had some outstanding individual plays, and we had some outstanding individual performances on the mound. So, you know, it wasn't just one aspect that won this series for us.
You know, we're 1 game out. It's a great feeling. Here it is in, you know, almost August, and we swept the best club in baseball. They had the best record in baseball when they came in here.
Did you get the feeling that some people were perched ready to write the Giants' 87 obit before this series started?
Well, once again, Pete, if they were in the National League East going in yesterday, they would have been in 6th place. But nobody wants that division. In fact, we'll throw a plug in. Sports Final, Pete and myself were talking on a New York radio station tonight about our show. They want to know, why are the Giants right in the thick of that race? And again, it's that nobody is a dominant club.
July, Dave Dravecki was traded by the San Diego Padres to the San Francisco Giants. Since then, he's won 7 games. Tonight, he can wrap up the Western Division crown for his new team by beating his former team. Giants and Padres coming right up.
Live from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, Channel 2 presents Major League Baseball as the Giants take on the Padres. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bay Area Dodge dealers, where the 87 factory-authorized clearance sale is in full swing right now. By Chevron, makers of the best unleaded gasolines, best at cleaning entire intake systems. By Seagram's Coolers. By Toyota, who offers a full line of 1987 cars and trucks. Who could ask for anything more? And by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the United States Olympic Training Centers, where Olympians are made the American way.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Giants Baseball. I'm Gary Park, along with Ron Fairley at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium for tonight's game between the San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres. And it is as it should be, Ron. There will be no backing in for the Giants tonight. The Cincinnati Reds overcame a 5-0 deficit. They scored 6 in the fourth.
Craig will be going. Leading off and playing in center field will be Eddie Milner. Batting second is Kevin Mitchell. Batting third is Mike Aldretti. In the cleanup spot is Candy Maldonado. Batting fifth will be Will Clark. Batting sixth, Bob Brenly doing the catching. And before we continue, we will have the playing of our national anthem. Let's continue with the lineup for the San Francisco Giants. Batting seventh at second base is Robbie Thompson. Batting eighth, the shortstop Jose Uribe. And on the mound, the left-hander with a record of 10-11, Dave Javecki. That's the starting lineup for the San Francisco Giants. For Larry Bowa and the San Diego Padres, the National League's leading hitter will lead off and be in right field. That's Tony Gwynn. Batting second, Shane Mack in center field. Batting third, Carmelo Martinez in left field. He plays very well against the Giants this year. In the cleanup spot is John Kruk at first base. Batting fifth, Benito Santiago. We'll tell you more about him. He has a 29-game hitting streak. Randy Reddy will be batting sixth at third base. Batting seventh, Gary Templeton at shortstop. Batting eighth, Joey Cora at second base. And on the mound, right-hander Eric Shaw with a record of 8-16. Those are the starting lineups for this evening's ball game. We're ready to get this underway, and to take you along, here's Gary Park.
Thank you, Ron. This copyrighted program is authorized under television rights granted by the San Francisco Giants solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants is prohibited. Well, it's all up to the Giants. Their magic number remains 1, and the Atlanta Braves must be starting to feel as though they are snake bit. Lightning has struck twice in the same place on successive days. Yesterday they got off to a 5-0 lead against the Giants. Giants came back with a 6-run fourth, went on to a 15-6 victory. Today, again, the Braves got off to a 5-0 lead. Again, their opposition came back with 6 runs in the fourth. That's all the Reds got today, but that was enough. Cincinnati winning by a score of 6-5 to keep the Giants' magic number at 1. And as we mentioned, that is exactly what the Giants wanted. They want to win it on their own. In fact, I talked with skipper Roger Craig before the game and asked him if the Braves beat the Reds, if he would take his starters out of the lineup early, and he said no. He wanted to win this ball game, even if the Reds had lost the earlier game. So he'll go after him with his best. Eddie Milner will lead off, followed by Kevin Mitchell, and then Mike Aldretti. Shaw making his 34th start of the year, 17th at home, 4th against the Giants. You may recall he faced San Francisco on opening day at Candlestick, was not the pitcher of record. In a game the Giants won 4-3 in 12 innings. He went 7 into third innings that day, allowing 5 hits and 3 runs. He's lost his last 2 starts to the Giants. 1-0 at Candlestick on June 11th. And 11-2 here on June 21st. But Shaw has pitched very well of late. His last start Wednesday against the Cincinnati Reds, he went 5 1/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs. And before that, 2 very good outings. Back-to-back complete games against Houston and Atlanta. He shut out the Astros on September 11th.
He allowed Atlanta only 1 run on September 17th. Over his last 23 1/3, he's allowed only 3 runs. Milner takes high for a ball, 1-0. John McSherry is behind the plate tonight. Frank Pulley at first, Steve Ripley at second, and Dana DeMuth around at third. One-0 pitch. Milner fouls that back into the seats. 1-1. I think half this crowd is comprised of Giants fans. Giants players, when they were introduced tonight, got a much bigger roar of approval than did the Padres. I understand a lot of Giants fans right in that section. Miller drove in a season-high 3 runs Saturday night. And over his last 20 games, he's hitting .313. So he is finding his batting stroke and eye just in time for postseason play. Here is the 2-1 pitch. That's a strike. It's even at 2-2. First things first, Roger Craig became a grandfather again today. His daughter Vicky gave birth to her second child, a boy. That is Roger's 6th grandchild. And the young fellow weighed in at more than 10 pounds. And she was not due to give birth until October 10th. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Broken bat, 1 hopper right back to the mound. Shout, truck, and there's 1 away. And that will bring up Kevin Mitchell.
You know, there's so many great holding second. Third baseman, number 9, Kevin Mitchell.
Here is Mitchell hitting .305 over his last 24 games. And home run number 21 on the 15th of this month off Keith Comstock of the Padres. Former Padre, 3 for 6 against his former teammates with 1 home run, 2 runs batted in. From the outhouse to the penthouse for Mitchell.